Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to my channel. So on the forum, someone was asking for help. They had purchased a pencil jig and weren't sure what to do with it, how to make it work. And my first question was, did you buy the entire jig or just a file? And this was the case where they bought just a file. So like, well, upload a picture of it. I don't want you to upload the file because it's purchased and there's copyrights and all that. I don't want to deal with that, but just upload a screenshot showing it and I'll help you out in getting things going. So I was able to help them through that process. But I got to thinking, the pencil jig is such a simple jig to make. I'm going to go ahead today and show you how to make your own pencil jig. It's very simple, only takes a few minutes, and how we can use it using the different coordinate methods. Whether we use, if you have a fixed fence like I do on my machines, you can put it right in the corner and have absolute positioning perfectly every time. But I'm also going to add some targets on it so you can use it with the cut and print feature if you don't have a fixed fence to set things against. So let's go in Lightburn and I'll show you how to make it real quick and we'll burn it and show you how to use it. All right, so we're in Lightburn, and first thing we need to do is I have a piece of 300 by 300 plywood, 1/8" plywood that I'm going to use. So let's unlock the aspect ratio. Type out 300, tab 300. Now we have a piece of plywood here, and I'm going to position it. I'm going to use the top left position corner. I'm going to position it at 0 and 410, which is the extent of my work area. So that top left corner is at 0 and 410, which matches the top left corner of my work area. I'm going to also change this now to a tool layer because we don't need that to cut. That's just showing our space that we have to work with. Okay. Now we're going to go to a cut layer, and we're going to need to cut out for the pencil itself. And I measured these pencils. Most pencils I've found are about 190 millimeters long, and I make it 7.5 millimeters wide. Yeah, you see that's the size of your pencil. We're going to put a box in to put the text in. Do that first. We're going to go. Let's go something like that. We certainly don't need to fill up the whole pencil with, but we want to have room for any text that we do want to put in there. Let's make it an even 120. Okay, and we're going to make that a tool layer also. Now I want that to be, I measured for the eraser and the metal ferrule. It can be anywhere from 20 to 25 millimeters, depending on the pencil brand that I've found. So we're going to go like 30 millimeters just to be safe. What I want to do is I want to click on the top right here. We'll get this dimension, which that location is 233. So now we have that number figured out. We're going to click on our inner box. We're going to come over here and type 233 minus 30. And that should give us a 30 millimeter distance between here and there. And I'll show you with the ruler. Click here and click and shift. And it comes in right at 30 millimeters, which gives us a nice spacing. Okay. The first thing we need to do is actually make the jig. So with that done, this is a tool layer. I'm going to select these two items and I'm going to group them together just so they don't move. And then we're going to open up the array tool. And actually, yes, 11.5 is what I want for my spacing. And I'm from center to center because I'm 7.5 millimeters tall and I want a 4 millimeter spacing between them. So I made 12 copies in the array. They're 7.5 millimeters tall and I want 4 millimeters between. So that's where I come up with the 11.5 millimeters. Distance from center to center. If we go padding between, it shows 4, which is what I wanted. I'm going to leave it on center to center because that works out easier for the text also. We definitely want to use center to center with the text. Let's put it that way. And I have reverse direction because I start at the top and work my way down. But if you go the other direction, that's fine. And so I'll click OK out of here. So now we have our squares, or our slots for our pencils on a 300 by 300. And we could fit more in there if you want to, but I'm just going to go with 12. Now, another thing we want to do, I can go ahead and cut this out. In fact, I don't even need to cut the extents of the board. This is just a piece of scrap. I got something printed down here that I was experimenting with on a photo. But we can leave it as it is, or we can cut it down to a smaller size. That's your option. If you want to cut it down to a smaller size, I'll show you how we can do that. Just create a rectangle, like so. All right, now we need to right-click on this rectangle and choose Convert to Path. I'm going to use the Trim tool real quick. Okay, all the excess is gone. Now if I go to cut this out, it'll cut all our squares out, or all our rectangles out for that, and it will cut this shape out. I'm not going to bother cutting this shape out, but I just show you how you can do it if you want to. So let me delete that, get rid of that. But I am going to put a couple targets in here in case you want to use it with the print and cut feature. So to do a target, I'm going to do a small circle, and we're going to change that to blue. And then I'm going to do a couple lines here. If you bring your line tool, see with the little arrow comes up on the corner, bottom right corner, it's not centered. But when you're centered, it shows like so. And then shift, drag over, and click. Right click to get out of there. Come back up here, click, shift, and click. And right click to get out of there. Now just to make sure everything's centered, I'm going to select it all and click the bullseye, and everything is. So we'll group that again and bring this over here. We'll put one up close to the corner there. Duplicate it by Command. Whoa, silly me. Forgot what I'm working out remotely on the other computer. So I'm just going to right click and duplicate. I'm working on a Mac keyboard on a PC, and it doesn't like me so much when I do that. I'm going to put another one down here just diagonally across. Okay. So that's basically our jig. These targets are only if you're going to use the print and cut feature, or for other ways of alignment. If you want to try and align it manually, they will help you with that as well. The main thing with the print and cut and those is you want to have the targets fairly far apart. And I found that diagonal seems to work the best rather than trying to go up and down, just because you can get more distance diagonally, basically. So let's go in here, go to my material library, and I need just some, no, I don't want that. I don't have a setup for this one. Let's go for basswood 3mm cut. We're going to assign that here. And then switch positions, and we'll put the cut on the bottom. I want to engrave this in real quickly. 6020 is not going to work. Drop that down to 3000 and 35. Quick line mode. Okay. So there we have your basic file. We're going to cut this out, and then I'll show you what you need to do to work with the rest. Let me switch over to the camera. I'm going to go out and turn the air on and start the laser. Jump back here. Hit start. I've already focused it. We're good. Yes. There you see it burning the targets. Now it's burning out the pencil marks, or the pencil slots, I should say. And this will take a few minutes. I'll speed it up and we'll come back when it's done. Okay, that's finished. Let me pull the bones out and we'll set it back in place and throw a pencil in there. All right, now that's done. The next step in the process is I want to take this cut line and turn it into a tool layer. I want to take both of these targets, put those on a tool layer also. They don't need to burn anymore, but we do still want them on. We do still want them here. So now let's group everything together. Grab all that. And my compressor's running in the background here. Let me group it together. Let me just pause here for a second until the compressor stops. Which pencil am I going to put this one in here? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, number 6. Okay, we're going to put the text on number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's right there. I'm just going to write Tim's pencil. And make that an engraved layer. We'll zoom in here. Oh, that's horrible. I have to capitalize my own first name. All right, so Tim's pencil, right, 4 millimeters our height. That gives on a hexagon or octagon shaped pencil, that gets you right in the middle of the flat spot. So we're going to select that, and then we select our, oh, that's right, we can't do that. We have to do this differently. I was going to try and use the alignment tools to get it lined up with where I wanted to here, but that's not going to work because this is all grouped together. So I need to ungroup all this first, but in order to do that, I have to unlock it all. Okay. Ungroup that. And those are still grouped. Ungroup that. Okay, now they're separate. I need to actually hide these so I can get to the other ones. I'll put those on the blue tool layer and hide it. And I'll grab these. No, that won't work. They just cannot be grouped. Yeah, they can't be grouped. So turn that back on. I think we can still lock everything. Let me move this out of the way. See, make sure we can lock else shapes. Lock shapes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So I'm going to grab this. 3, 4, 5, 6. If I can shift and select that. Yes, that works. I can align it right and align it vertically centered. So that will print out right where we want it to. Let me see if I have a pencil. I don't. So let's just try this same thing basically we did with the other. So we have a pencil in the slot number 6. It's oriented all the way to the right. I'm actually going to run the laser over top of it so I can focus it. And I don't know if these settings are correct or not, but we're just going to go with it. And start. Yes. Yeah, it's zipping real quick. Zippy, zippy, zippy. Okay, look at that. Let me go grab it. Well, that worked out pretty good. I don't know if you can see this here. Yeah. Right centered on the flat spot, just like you'd want it to be. So that's a super simple pencil jig. Now I'm going to, if you want to stick around and learn how to use it with a print and cut, and also how to use it with a variable text and a spreadsheet, we'll keep the video going. If not, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something on how to make the jig, and we'll get on to some advanced features here in just a moment. Now I'm going to show you how to use this jig that we just created using the print and cut feature. This is very handy if you don't have a fixed position fence set up on your laser. You can place it wherever you want to, wherever you need to, out in your work area, and align the jig perfectly to where it still functions for you. So let's get back into Lightburn. And first thing I'm going to do is we need to ungroup everything. I'm going to just hit ungroup a couple times so we get it all ungrouped. And I will need to group these targets together individually for the positioning features. I'm going to grab the whole everything we got here, and I'm just going to move it away from the corner, something like that. I'm going to take my move tool and just move the laser to one target. Okay, and I'm going to turn fire on, and I'm going to go out and physically move this jig to where the crosshairs line up perfectly with the laser as being fired. And you'll see that here in just a second. But right now I've got that positioned perfectly on these crosshairs, and I got the pencil in position here. And from this point on, I don't want to touch the jig again. In fact, if you had clamps, you could clamp it down. That'd be even better. But now I'm going to move. Now I'm going to start the print and cut section. We'll go here. Okay. Turn off the fire button. So the laser is currently, and I'll click off. I'm going to select this first target. That's what we aligned the laser up to. Print and cut, start the wizard. Press to set first target position. So that's selected, and we know the laser beam is directly over top of it, so we'll hit select there. Then I'm going to use my move tool and click here and choose jog. So now it's moved to that position, and we can show last position. You can see that actually it doesn't show it. It won't let me do that when we're in print and cut mode. That's okay. That's selected. Now I'm going to move this off to the side a bit. Turn on our fire button and see how far off we are. And we're off quite a bit there. So I'm going to move this thing. Let's go for 2 millimeters a shot. And down. That's pretty close. In fact, I'm going to go out from let me go place my eyes on it. Move it over one more notch, and we're going to call it good. Set. Now your options are scaled or not scaled. Since this was all created within Lightburn and there's no scaling involved in it, we're going to choose no scaling. And bring that back up. So now you can see it says ready, print and cut, unscaled. Now the only thing we need to do is not changing any settings there. I just want to go and frame. And in fact, I'll come back down here. We'll hit frame. Look at that, right where we want to be. Okay, so now we just hit start and let it go. And I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it's raining here. So, okay. I'll go pull the pencil out and we'll take a look at it. Okay. And here we can see, it doesn't want to focus very good. There it is. Once again, Tim's pencil. So that's using the jig with the print and cut feature. You're able to place it in your bed, align with your target locations, lock it down, and that's the biggest thing is you want to make sure that it doesn't move, because if it moves, it's not going to line up, obviously. So you can lock it down, you can load your pencils into it, and run your print job. Now we're going to work on using this jig with variable text feature, mainly a spreadsheet with a CSV comma separated value text file created by a spreadsheet. Let's go back into Lightburn and we'll grab our text here. Hello. Click. There we go. It brings it up. Now, since we're going to be using a CSV, we need to put a placeholder in. The placeholder is %0. That's going to grab everything. That's going to grab the first column in a CSV sheet, in a spreadsheet. If we needed to grab the second column, be %1. Second column be third column be %2. The count starts at 0 and goes up from there. But all we need is %0. We're going to keep our size the same and everything. We're going to go with that, and then we need to change this from normal text to merge with the CSV. Now I'm going to move that. I'm going to take this and move it up here to align with this one. So center there and make sure it's still on the right side. Okay. So now we need to select that, and we're going to make an array, just like we did before. We want 12 rows. We want them at 11.5 millimeters apart, so that they work out all at the center. We'll keep that okay. Now, let's go into variable text. Right now, if we test, it goes away because there's no file assigned. So we need to find a file. Browse. Okay, this is all one name. We do that one instead. So now if I click test, the first 8 or 9 are Tim, and then it starts going to Kathy, which is what the CSV file showed. So if we hit preview, that's what's going to print out. Go back and change another CSV file. This one here, I only have 4 pencils. Let's see what that looks like. Just some basic sayings. And then again, we'll hit the preview. You rock, remember we are, all those. And if you notice it's got a little bit of angle to it, that's because our jig is not in there perfectly square. We're using the print and cut feature, and it made up for any discrepancies in the shape or positioning of the jig. I guess I can show you real quickly how to create a CSV. I'll just go into and bring up a blank sheet. I just deleted everything out of here, but say we have a spreadsheet here. And let's say you got Bethany. Let's spell it properly. Now we can, if you want to do a bunch of them exactly the same, cool feature, grab this little dot and just drag it down to 12, and it puts the same thing in every location all the way down. It just copies it. That's a quick way to copy it down. Now, if you don't want to do that, I'm going to back up. And let's say you want different names in every place. Enter. You get the idea. You can go down and fill that up. And then the only thing that you really have to do is need to go, and I'm using Google Sheets. They're all going to be a little bit different, but yeah, we want to download and choose CSV. I'm just going to put it in your downloads folder, based on what it's named after. So let's go back into Lightburn and go find the file. And that was pencil name sheet 1. I'll open that and test it. And there you see we got the names that we just put in there. So, and if there's no value in the spreadsheet, it doesn't print it out. If you notice that there was no value there from the 5th pencil down, number 6 gone down, there was nothing. So it doesn't show anything. So I hope that you find this video useful. I know it was a bit long, but there's a lot to show here, and I wanted to make sure and try and get every detail as best as I could. So leave a comment for me if you like what I'm doing. If you have ideas of other videos you'd like to see, let me know. I'm happy to see what I can do, if I can figure out how to do something and make it happen for you. And if you really want to help me out, in the description you'll find some affiliate links to Amazon. If you click on those links or click on the general link and purchase something, I get a couple pennies off it, and it doesn't cost you any more. So that really helps me to be able to keep making the videos and buying supplies and things like that. And subscribe to my channel, like the video. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.